All right, we're going to call the meeting of the Finance Committee to order on November 18th. 19th, sorry, I don't have a pack. I left it in the car, I had another meeting. Can I just work off this thing? Can the clerk please call the roll?
Sure. Alderman Thibodeau?
Here.
Alderman GOV is here. Alderman Moran? Alderman Gregg? Alderman Clements?
Here.
Alderman Klee? Mayor Donchess?
Here.
That's 4 in attendance. We have quorum.
I thought I was going to have time to go back to the car, but I didn't. I got this. No, this is good. All right, the first communication is from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Oh, public comment, sorry. Is there any member of the public who would like to speak to the committee on any of the items on the agenda? Seems like no one. Therefore, we'll move on to communications. First communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Govea.
In regard to subscriptions, celebrate in the amount not to exceed $31,434, funded from loss prevention, 68 other expenses. I'll make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of industry standard mobile device and computer extract hardware and software for the acquisition and analysis of data from Celebrate Inc. in the amount not to exceed $31,434. Funding will be through Department 150, Police Department, Fund Loss Prevention, 86 other expenses.
Name's Michael Caucasian, work for the Nashville Police Department. I'm a detective there. Cellbrite is a forensic hardware and software that allows us to do examinations of not only mobile devices, but also provides us the capability to extract data from computers. We can also utilize the tool to brute force or unlock or identify passcodes to lock devices, so it provides us with a wide range of capabilities.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Govea.
In regard to software subscription, Gray Key in the amount not to exceed $31,100, funded from General Fund and Loss Prevention, 55 other services. I'll make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the Gray Key software subscription renewal with Magnet Forensics for data extraction for locked mobile devices for forensic investigations in the amount not to exceed $31,100. Funding will be through Department 150, Police Department, Fund, General Fund, and Loss Prevention, 55 other services.
Michael Caucasian, Nashville Police. I'm a detective there. Gray Key or Magnet Forensic provide capabilities in regards to mobile and computer forensics, as well as providing us with capabilities to do cloud extractions, so search warrants to Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. Allows us to process that data in a readable and presentable manner when we present to court or to some of our peers.
And how much crime are you finding in these sites? I mean, I assume you're looking for like child predators and stuff like that. I mean, how frequently do you come across something like that?
I would say all the time. So most of the cases that we deal with would be child exploitation cases where there's images that are considered child sexual abuse material that go online and they get identified. So a lot of the time we utilize these tools to do examinations of individuals' devices. We can recover deleted information with some of these tools and even identify some other involved individuals as well. We'll use it for a lot of major cases too. It provides us tools with like video surveillance. So if we have issues with a DVR or NVR trying to obtain video of an incident, we're able to use some of Magnet's tool to be able to present that or view that data.
All right. Anyone else? Alderman Thibodeau.
Just for the general public, I'm assuming this is all warranted activity.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we would only do this based off consent or a legal process like a search warrant.
I assume so.
Yes, sir.
All right, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
Revenue for prosecutorial services in the amount not to exceed $219,538, funded from General Fund 45, other reimbursements. I'll make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve renewing the multi-year contract with the Town of Hollis to engage in providing the services of a criminal case prosecutor in the amount not to exceed $219,538. Funding will be through Department 150, Police Department Fund, General Fund 45, other reimbursements.
Ms. Smith?
Karen Smith, National Police Department, Business Manager. And we currently have a contract that's expiring. It's with Hollis for prosecutor services. And there's a 3% increase each year for 3 years. And this is for criminal prosecution of cases.
All right. Alderman Govea.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My question when it comes to this contract is what we're getting enough for the caseloads that we're bringing in from Hollis?
Yes, we are comfortable with the amount that we're receiving, the reimbursement. It's been
Okay.
working out very well.
Okay.
Do we do this with any other town, or just Hollis?
No, Mr. Mayor, that's just with Hollis.
All right, anyone else? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Motion, next item is communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to financial advisor services in the amount of 15 basis points funded from the trust funds and the capital reserves funds. I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve a multi-year contract for the trustee of trust funds for all of the city's banking and brokerages needs for trust funds and capital reserves outlined in the investment management agreement with Cambridge Trust Wealth Management Private Banking in the amount of 15 basis points. Funding will be through Department 126 Financial Services Fund, Trust Fund, and Capital Reserve Funds.
Dawn Enright, CFO. We are looking, the trustee of trust funds are looking to engage with a single source financial advisor in order to decrease fees for the investments and engage in a long-term relationship with the financial institution.
Alderman Clemmons.
Can you explain the 15 basis points funding? What is 15 basis points of what?
15 basis points. The best way to look at the basis points is 1 basis points is 1/100% that they charge on the balance that you have. So, for example.
On the balance? That's what I
Yes,
was-
so if you have $20,000 and it's a 25 basis points, you'd pay $50 for a fee for the management of those funds.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I understood that. I wasn't sure what the pool of money was. So the 15 basis points, what are we paying now? What does that compare to what we pay in fees now?
We have multiple financial institutions that we engage with, and because we're working with multiples, our fees are significantly higher. We're paying 35 to 55 basis points at this point in time on all the different funds. So the goal was to reinstitute the trustee of trust funds for the management and oversight of them, and utilize the buying power of having them all under one roof to be able to decrease these fees.
Excellent. Nice job.
Alderman Govea.
Thank you. Just trying to wrap my head around it. As of today, in current account balances, 15 basis points would be equal to roughly how much?
On what the balances that we have today, we're anticipating about $125 million for all the funds involved. So if you're doing 1 basis point on that, you're my goodness, the quick
How
math.
much is it?
$125 million total, including pension balances and so forth. So I would have to calculate, are you calculating?
1% is 125,000.
Right, a year,
So 1.5 would be 180,
and that's a year.
Okay,
about.
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you.
Anyone else? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Govea.
In regard to Cisco SmartNet in the amount not to exceed $29,492, funded from General Fund 54 Property Services. I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve a one-year renewal contract with Custom Computer Specialists for the continued operation of services for Cisco SmartNet for the city's phone system through Shy Inc. in the amount not to exceed $29,492. Funding will be through Department 120 Technology Maintenance Fund, General Fund 54 Property Services.
Yes.
Good evening, Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. I'm here on behalf of Nick Miservich, CIO, who's not able to attend tonight. So this is an annual renewal for our Cisco SmartNet agreement, which provides the next business day replacement for the following hardware items: the city's core enterprise switches, the phone system gateway routers, phone system switches, phone devices, and phone system servers.
All right, all those in favor of the motion say aye. Oh, wait, did you make the motion? You did, yeah. Okay, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next, communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Govea.
In regard to replacement roof at Station 6 in the amount not to exceed $365,000, funded from Bond 54 Property Services, I'll make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the replacement of a failed rubber membrane roof system at Station 6 with Peter D. Savello Construction, LLC, in the amount not to exceed $377,000. Funding will be through Department 152 Fire Rescue Fund, Bond 54 Property Services.
Hi, Adam Pliot, Assistant Fire Chief. So this is to replace the roof at our station over at 2 Conant Road. The proposal is to remove the roof in its entirety, abate all the asbestos, so the roof's going to be removed right down to the metal deck, new insulation, new rubber membrane, and all of the work that goes with that. It leaks significantly throughout the living space and throughout the mechanic shop. It's end of life probably a decade ago.
Alderman Clemmons.
Will that interrupt the station from being able to be used, or?
Nope, this could all happen while the station is occupied. There's actually 4 separate roof sections, so they're going to be able to do a little bit at a time, so at no point will we have any large section of it open and exposed.
Great.
Alderman Thibodeau.
So when approved, when is work planned to be started? Like as soon as possible?
As
kind of
soon
thing?
as possible. Yeah, it cannot go through another winter.
All right, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Govea.
In regard to software subscription benefits administration in the amount not to exceed $150,000 annually, funded from Benefits Fund 71 Equipment, I'll make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve a 3-year contract with BenefitFocus.com Incorporated for online benefit administrative software in the amount not to exceed $150,000. Funding will be through Department 113 Benefits Fund, Benefit Fund 71 Equipment.
Hello, Kathy Fournier, Benefits Manager. Alight is our current portal that our employees go into to elect their benefits and do their life changes and new hire enrollments. And they have decided that they will not service clients less than 3,000 employees. And we have 2,800. So we've had to go out to bid, and our hub, our benefit broker, went out to bid and got 4 companies that came back that they thought they could do the job, and only 2 we felt needed to go further, and we did demonstrations of their admin site and their capabilities, and found that we were going to pick Benefit Focus. Benefit Focus has a relationship already with the Manchester School District. They implemented this system with Manchester schools, and they had like 2,300 employees, and we have 1,800 schools. So we feel they can understand our complexity that we have here at the municipality. They also were able to create file feeds to Lawson, which Lawson is our HRIS system right now that holds all our benefits and other things. very low implementation cost of $2,500, and they match the rate we're currently paying for light. Okay? So they match the $4.68 per employee per month, and they will do it on 2,600 count of employees. And this price lock is for 3 years. So we're paying a little less than what we were paying with the light because of the implementation charges. So I just wanted to let you know that it's something we really have to do. We don't have a choice. We would implement for the open enrollment for 2020, FY 2027, and stop with the light as of June 30th, 2026.
All right. Alderman Thibodeau.
Thank you. I'm just curious, how long have we had that other company?
2022. We thought it was going to be more of a long-term relationship, and it's not. We did go to Alight and ask them, how can we stay with you? And they quote us a range of $25,000 to $33,000 a month, where right now we're paying about $12,500 a month. And that would bring our total per calendar year to $300,000 or $400,000. Because they would treat us like we were somebody that was over $3,000. So that wasn't an option.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion
Thank you.
passes. Thank you. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Govea.
In regard to hydropower engineering change order number 3 in the amount not to exceed $436,670, funded from capital improvements, 53 professional and technical services. I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve change order number 3 relative to the relicensing of the Mines Falls hydroelectric facility and the exemption amendment for the Jackson Mills hydroelectric facility as part of the turbine upgrade project, as well as a 30% final design of the downstream fish passage and construction with Verdentes LLC in the amount not to exceed $436,670. Funding will be through Department 170 Hydroelectric Operations Fund, Capital Improvements, 53 Professional and Technical Services.
Ms. Chisholm.
Hi, Deb Chisholm, Sustainability Department Manager. He pretty much said it all in that summary there. We currently have Verdentes under contract in the process of getting through the conceptual design. We had decided that we would wait and use a change order to change the scope and the schedule for the contract once we had an idea of what we were looking at as far as the downstream passage at Jackson was concerned. So now that we're aware of what we think the options are, we're in the process now of getting ready to get from a 30% design, with hopefully 90 to 100% design sometime this summer.
Alderman Thibodeau.
Thank you. So with this increase, how are we looking with how much we thought this was all going to cost to this point?
I think at this point, again, we haven't really made any finalization. We're still at that conceptual design standpoint. I think it's a little bit more expensive than what we had originally thought, but I'll tell you that when we were originally thinking about these costs, it was really 2018, 2019. So clearly, it's now, we're going to be looking at construction in 2026, 2027. So we're looking at things that are, almost 10 years more expensive, if you will.
Right. No problem. And these generate revenue for the city as well,
Correct.
when it's fully operational.
Correct.
What is the anticipated annual revenue from these, in a perfect world?
In a perfect world, our revenues between both the Jackson Mills Hydro and the Mine Falls Hydro is about $1.5 million a year.
Thank you.
Alderman Clemmons.
And again, this is mostly for the fish ladder, correct?
Correct.
So, once those fish ladders are built, right, and they can access around the dam. Is that something that's one and done? In other words, like, you know, obviously unless the EPA comes and decides that they want to do something different, right? But is this like a one and done thing in the sense that, like, you know, 30 years from now, if we need a new turbine or something like that, we're not going to have to, or hopefully we won't have to redesign that fish ladder because that'll already be in place?
Right. What we have currently at Jackson is a fish ladder that has been in existence now, and it primarily made of wood. And it is still, it's still going, it's still working. But again, because we had requested an exemption from an amendment to our exemption, when we put the turbine in, that's when the fish agencies, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife and NOAA, National Marine Fisheries Service, State Fish and Game, that's when they say, oh, okay, we're not going to approve that until you meet these criteria. So with this fish passage, we're working directly with them. I have a meeting with them on Tuesday. So we're working very closely with them to make sure that what gets installed is something that is going to be good for the next 30 years. Okay. That we're not going to have to, oh, no, we don't like that one anymore, right, and we're going to change it to something else. Hopefully, with their input, we'll be able to design something that is something that's going to be suitable for the next 30 years.
Okay,
Yep.
Thank you.
And the license is good for how long?
We don't currently have the license renewed for Mine Falls.
But once we do, what's the renewal
I don't
period?
know at this point exactly how long that license is going to be good for because I haven't seen it yet. My assumption is it's going to be either 30 or 40 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to purchase of a forklift in the amount not to exceed $40,880, funded from FTA Bus and Bus Facilities, 81 Capital Outlay Improvement. I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and award the purchase of a Hyundai 35LN9A forklift for National Transit System with Forklifts NH Power Town LLC in the amount not to exceed $40,880. Funding will be through Department 186 Transportation Fund, FTA Bus and Bus Facilities, 81 Capital Outlay and Improvement.
Mr. Sullivan?
What the clerk said. Again, I'll ditto that. This is a new forklift for Nashua Transit System. We use this within our maintenance facility located off of Riverside Drive. We're replacing an aging piece of equipment. We use funds that you've actually allocated through the NTS capital money that we've received in the operational budget and capital budget in the past to match the Federal Transit Administration funds that pay for this. We went out to bid, we received 10 bids, and ultimately we chose to purchase the Hyundai that's in front of you this evening at approximately $40,000. We use this on a daily basis to lift large pieces of equipment, tires, that sort of thing when doing repair to the buses at the NTS facility. Happy to answer any questions that folks may have.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to bus seat inserts in the amount not to exceed $49,015, funded from FTA Grant Fund 61 Supplies and Materials, I'll make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of fiberglass seat inserts for the Gillig buses with American Seating Company in the amount not to exceed $49,015. Funding will be through Department 186 Transportation Fund, FTA Grant Fund 61 Supplies and Materials.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Matt Sullivan, Community Development Director. If you've been on the Nashua Transit System buses before, if you've been on different buses, they all have different types of seats. Some have a fiberglass seat, some have a plastic seat, some have a fiberglass plastic mix, and then some have a cloth covering on them. Like you would see in a coach bus if you're taking it down sort of to by the Boston Express or Concord coach lines. We have 6 current Gillig vehicles that have those cloth seats. Throughout the pandemic and even in the time since, as the equipment begins to age, it's become very, very difficult for us to clean those cloth seats and keep them sanitary, quite frankly, for riders, particularly as we have bed bugs and other issues. Although those are infrequent, very infrequent, any spills are very complicated to clean up on the bus with our cloth seats. And so in talking to Administrator Correa, for the 6 that currently have those cloth seats, we've actually opened up a grant and are hoping to get approval this evening to replace all of the seats on those buses for approximately $49,000 with a fiberglass seat, much like you see in 2 of our buses currently. And hopefully this will ease that burden of doing that cleaning. If these were long-haul buses, I think we'd be concerned about comfort and the associated cloth seats that we have now, but these are not. You know, you're on the bus for 30 minutes to an hour, and so we're not worried about that. And frankly, the existing cloth seats that we have are very thin anyway, and so the comfort is really a minimal difference between the cloth and the fiberglass that we're proposing. Happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Alderman Clemmons.
Thank you. The buses, we're putting them in.
Yes.
What is the length of life for those buses going forward?
That's a great question, Alderman Clemmons. It's very mileage dependent, truly, depending upon what routes those buses are driving. Generally, they're anywhere from, this is a very wide range, I recognize what I'm about to say, 7 to 12 years. We're at about half life on most of our fleet that we have right now because it was purchased at about the same time. So we expect that we'll be coming back in the next 3 to 5 years to ask for bus authorization. We actually currently have those in the SURF plan already. They're a significant item, though. You know, they're anywhere from $600,000 to $800,000 in cost, and so we're going to have to work closely with the finance team to make sure there's adequate SURF funding available to do that. One of the nice things about our buses, though, is we can receive substantial federal grants to replace them, and so we're working really hard to get prepared to do that, much like we've done with the vans that this committee has actually approved over the last 2 years. We don't want bus replacement to be on the national tax bill, if you will. We recognize it's still federal tax dollars that are paying for those buses, but we'd like to use the FTA monies if at all possible.
Alderman Clemmons.
Yeah. Thank you. Were those buses purchased with cloth seats on purpose, or was it just they were the low bid and?
I believe they were the standard equipment on the bus that the NTS folks at the time wanted to purchase. I can't, Alderman Clemmons, I can't say in honesty that there was a deliberate conversation about choosing cloth over something else. Okay. But my understanding is that that was the standard equipment that was on the buses at the time. The 2 that we have are 2 big green buses, the BAE sponsored buses. Those have a plastic fiberglass seat, and it's just the standard spec that came with that. So I think it's vehicle to vehicle, I guess I would say.
Okay.
Alderman Thibodeau.
In the introduction, it mentions 6 buses, but if I look at the spreadsheet, it looks like it's 8 buses.
Sure.
But then you mentioned 2 already have the fiber. Is that why the spreadsheet, the way I read it anyway, looks like 8 buses?
So Alderman Thibodeau, the 2 I mentioned are just as a point of reference. It should only be 6 buses with their seats being replaced.
I could probably be reading it wrong.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Let me take a look, just maybe while we're chatting, see if I can see what you're seeing.
And it's probably misinterpretation.
No, that's all right.
But on the first grouping, it looks like a quantity of 4, and then down below, it looks like another quantity of 4.
Yeah, I certainly see that. I believe that we're only doing 6 of the pieces of equipment listed on here, though. Alderman Thibodeau, if that's a critical issue, it's 6 buses. I know that. I don't know. Amy, do you know? She can help me out.
Amy Gerard, purchasing manager. So in reviewing this quote, it's for the $62,952
Versus the
but
49.
we're only looking for authorization for $49,000. So my perception is that maybe perhaps 2 are not being updated because of budgetary issues.
I just can't speak to specifically which 2, though. I do see that. Alderman Thibodeau, perhaps if the committee wants to table this for a minute, I can go back while we go on to the next item and just take a look at this more closely, and I can answer that question if it's a critical issue. I know it's 6 vehicles. I don't know why the quote reflects 8. I know that we're only proceeding with a purchase of $49,000, but I'm not clear which 2 on here we are not proceeding with. Happy to do whatever the committee would like.
So you think you can figure this out?
I think I can figure it out if you give me a minute.
Because you've got the next item also, right?
I do, but I can speak while I look here. I'm happy to do that if the committee is willing to entertain it.
All right. We'll move on to the next item and come back.
Sure.
The next communication is from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to amendment number 1 for Nashua Transit System advertising revenue in an estimated amount of $100,000 funded from Nashua Transit System auxiliary transport advertising revenue /44 advertising fees. I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve a 1-year extension contract for transit advertising with ATA Outdoors Media in an estimated revenue of $100,000. Funding will be through Department 186, Transportation Fund, Nashua Transit System Auxiliary Transport Advertising Revenue, 44 advertising fees.
Thank you, committee members. Matt Sullivan, Community Development Director. This is a revenue contract. We sometimes bring these before you. We currently have a vendor that works to sell advertising on our Nashua Transit System buses, on some of the bus shelters at our transit center. You may see that I'm not trying to do free advertising here, but the Joyce cooling bus that goes around that's sort of lined up with where the wheels are, it's pretty neat. ATA actually does the contact with those advertisers. They do the outreach. They do the sales. We have basically a revenue split with them, but NTS receives a portion of the revenue. We use that revenue to then match some of our federal grant dollars that come in, but we're hoping to extend that existing contract by a period of 1 year. The expiration date would be January 31st of 2027, should this extension be granted. We've had a fantastic relationship with them. I see them many times down at the transit admin building, placing graphics and decals on the buses. Still opportunities for growth and revenue, but generally pleased with the contracted services and hope to continue working with them as well. Happy to answer questions that you might have.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Motion passes. Can you,
I can't.
you can or you cannot?
I cannot. So I clearly see that 4 vehicles are here. I agree with Mr. Gerard's assessment that despite the quote being at 62, we're only proceeding with 6 of the vehicles identified here. You know, I'm happy to proceed with the authorization to spend up to 49 on 6 of the vehicles. I'm fine with that. We could limit it to 6 vehicles. There's no intent here to do this for 8 vehicles, so I just can't speak to which specifically we're doing on this list. And it could have possibly been a quoting error. So I'm happy to proceed with a limitation to 6 vehicles, 49,000, and we'd have to come back for further authorization if that doesn't cover it.
All right. Well, there was a pending motion, which we will return to. Alderman Clemmons.
Yeah, I'm fine with that solution. I mean, it's gonna get done, and if it ends up being that, you know, because this is coming from a grant, correct?
That's correct. It's a mix, Alderman Clemmons, of grant funding, state funding, and local funding, with the grant funding being the bulk of the funding mix. It's nearly all grant funded from the FTA, but then there's local and state match that goes into it as well.
But the 49,000 is basically what we got, right? So not that 62. If we wanted to do the 62, we'd have to kick in more of our own.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
All right.
All right. I think you recall the motion. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Opposed?
Nay.
Thank you.
Motion passes. All right, new business resolutions ordinance, we don't have anything. Mr. Sullivan, we have tabled in committee the library plaza. Do you want to try to take that off the table, or are you still working on that?
I'm actually going to ask for that to be taken off the table at your next Finance Committee meeting. I do have certification from the vendor. They're well aware of the city's ask. They're fully in agreement. They're willing to certify that won't happen again, but I want to get you a formal communication. I don't have that available this evening.
All right.
I'll be back at your next Finance Committee meeting to present that.
So
Thank
we'll
you.
leave that on the table.
Thank you.
Record of expenditures, Alderman Govea.
I move that the Finance Committee has complied with city charter and ordinances pertaining to the record of expenditures for the period of October 31, 2025 to November 13, 2025.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Motion passes. General discussion, any general discussion? Public comment, there's no member of the public here. Remarks by Alderman, any Alderman have remarks? If not, Alderman Clemmons,
Motion to adjourn.
the Vice Chair Pro Tem, I will turn to him. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes, and the meeting is adjourned at 7:35 PM.